Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to the garden. Today I'm going to speak a little bit about aesthetics, uh, the beauty of the garden. You know, I've mentioned before that my three goals were to grow food, to provide habitat, and to get some trees going to give me some shade to cool off my backyard and make it more comfortable. Um, I guess I didn't mention the fourth reason, which is aesthetics. I want it to be beautiful. I want to have a beautiful garden just like most gardeners want to do, at least landscape gardeners. And so if you've been watching my videos, my focus right now has been getting carbon material into this food forest, and it's not really aesthetically all that pleasing. At least not to me, it's not. You've got all these logs all over the ground, and you've got wire cages everywhere. I've even got these big pots. None of this is part of the long-term plan, okay? None of it is. We're just trying to get this food forest up and running as fast as possible. We're trying to speed up succession. And in the long run and in the medium run, really, I'll begin to transform the look of everything. And today I was working on a project right along those lines. Let me go ahead and go past this and I'll come back to it. So to me, part of the feel of a nice, beautiful garden setting, it should include some kind of a water feature, like a pond or an aquarium. I really prefer aquariums because with a pond, you can't really see the fish. You can see the brightly colored fish like koi or goldfish, but other than that, the fish are just down there in the dark water and you can't see them. I prefer aquariums, and so what I've decided to do, as you can kind of see right here, is to take out the end of the screen for the screened-in porch here. Here's the rest of it. I'm going to leave this wall and this wall as is. I'm going to put an aquarium right there on that wall. So I'm going to build a solid wall right here with the aquarium in front of it. And I'm thinking of at least a 125-gallon aquarium and maybe bigger if I can get one bigger. My biggest concern is, well, the cost. Aquariums are expensive, but also the weight. Trying to get a big tank like that into here, it's not going to be easy. But I'm going to move the door, the screen door that used to be right here on this end of this wall. I'm going to move it over here to this end of this wall. I've already cut out some of the screen for that right here. And so yeah, to have a beautiful garden with lots of flowers and lush green growth that looks very pleasing to the eye, also with a beautiful aquarium, and to be able to just sit back here and enjoy the space, have a meal, visit with friends, family, whatever. That's what we're looking for here. I just thought I'd mention that because I know there are probably people that have been looking at some of my videos and think, wow, that's sure is ugly. And I agree. All these logs serve a purpose ecologically. So I want to get all that ecology going as fast as possible. But it's not the look I'll be going for long term. Probably next spring, in a few months from now, I'm going to be removing this greenhouse. I think it will have served its purpose by then. And I'll be, this is actually one of my prime real estate spaces for morning sun and afternoon shade. And that's the reason why I put the greenhouse here. But after removing this greenhouse, I can move my, my vermicompost operation, which is these two pots right here. I can move that over there to where the greenhouse is, and I can also plant things over there like Turk's cap hibiscus and coffee, wild coffee, some of the more shade-loving perennials I can put in there. So that'll change, and that'll become more of a beautiful garden setting rather than the utilitarian greenhouse type look. And I'm going to be doing different things with some of these pots. But back over here, as part of this whole change I was making here, instead of going into the back porch that way where the door used to be, we're going to be going into the back porch now that way where the new door will be, right there. And I will need to come out and walk over into this space and back to that faucet back there, the water faucet, because I'm going to be designing a feed and bleed water change system for the aquarium. So I'm going to run some piping from there over to that wall, go through the wall, and that all I'll have to do is open the valve here, and that's going to pour water into the aquarium. The aquarium will have an overflow. It'll overflow, go into a drain pipe, which will come back through the wall, along that back wall, and out into this garden. So this is going to be a very simplistic form of aquaponics. That aquarium overflow water will come out here. You need to change water in aquariums so the fish are healthy. So at least once a week, maybe twice a week, I'll be changing their water. And all I got to, with this design, all I'll have to do is open that valve. Everything else is automatic. The water flows out, and that's excellent. Fertility, very nutrient-rich water to feed this area right here, where we have so many important plants, like the avocado and the Japanese persimmon and blackberries and so forth. So, so we're changing the entry to the back porch over to here. Because there's a moringa tree right in the middle of the pathway, because I didn't think of this idea until recently, and had I been thinking, I probably wouldn't have planted the moringa tree right there. But I don't want to take it out, even though it's a young tree, it's easily taken out, because that's a strategic spot for shade. We really need the shade. Now the winter may kill this tree all the way to the ground anyway, but even if it does, it'll resprout from the roots and come right back up and grow pretty fast as well. But having that moringa to grow up every year, it'll grow higher than that next year, even if it does freeze back. So that's a really nice bit of shade right there. So this is the plan for now. Maybe eventually we may decide to go ahead and replace the screen walls here and over there on the other end there with a solid wall with windows. But we don't have an air conditioning vent in this back porch space, so I'm hesitant to really do that. I really want to keep the screen so we can get the breeze blowing through. So just to get y'all caught up on what we're doing in the garden and the aesthetics of it all. I can understand anybody thinking, wow, this guy's just a messy gardener, and that just, maybe it grows food well, but it sure is messy. Wildlife doesn't care. Wildlife loves the mess, and growing food doesn't care. Growing food loves the mess, actually. The more organic material you get in, the better your ecology and the more productivity you'll have in the ecosystem. But we do want shade, and we do want it to be a pleasing to the eye garden. So that is coming. That'll be part of the journey here as we progress through this food forest development, and we'll see how everything comes together with all four goals: food, wildlife, shade, and beauty. That's it for today, folks. Y'all take care now, and happy gardening.